All right, great. So, looks like everything's set to go. Thanks everyone
Awesome.
for joining us on the webinar today. I'm Nana Gilbert Bafo from Tracking202, and with me I have Steve from SiteScout. Steve, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having us here. This is going to be a great opportunity to learn a little bit about the implementations and what Prosper can do and what SiteScout can do.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what we have to share today. And without any delay, let's get started. Steve, can you tell us a little bit about SiteScout before we continue?
Yeah, for sure. SiteScout is a software company based in Toronto, Canada. Yes, it's freezing cold here, if anybody asks, and I do have a funny accent. We develop advertising for technology for marketers and agencies alike. A lot of direct response guys, a lot of brand agencies, and everything and anyone in between. We've been doing this now for almost 3 years. We started out with our SiteScout ad server product. It's quite popular still. It's a standalone solution. And about 2.5 years ago, so a little less than 3 years, we launched the RTB product that we'll be talking in depth about here today. And it's been developed. We're on version 2.0 unofficially, and we have a new interface launching probably in the next 3 to 6 months or less, depending on development time.
All right, awesome. And I know you've got a lot of SiteScout users on this webinar already. How about for the people who haven't actually started using SiteScout yet? Could you tell us why they should be using you guys for their media buys?
Yeah, I tried to limit it to 3 points here, but I'm gonna have to indulge a little more. We started by trying to remove all barriers to entry. Creating a low minimum deposit to start a campaign is only $500 USD minimum deposit, so it's quite lower than some of the competitors. It's also going to be the absolute most transparent real-time bidding system on the market. Without a doubt, it's literally the most granular and transparent system that I've ever seen, down to the domain level targeting. So I can say, hey, I want to buy an ad on New York Post, 300 by 250 above the fold. SiteScout gives you that kind of transparent targeting. No secret sauce or magic sauce here. It's media buying 101 basically, and you have all the levers at your control. So incredibly powerful stats, control, and everything else you could possibly need to make a successful media buying campaign. We have several different tactics that you can use within the RTB. There's basic site buys, as I alluded to, so targeting like a New York Post above the fold. Contextual, so tell it what types of pages you want your ads to appear on, maybe automotive only related pages. We have the ability to retarget. An extremely powerful tool right now in display marketing is definitely retargeting. That allows you to remarket your products or services to to users that have already seen the landing page or seen the offer page. So that's a great way to capture a lot of sales opportunities. We also have demographic targeting, so age, gender, and a whole bunch of different opted-in interests and likes, as well as domain targeting, as I mentioned. So
Mhm.
yeah, tons of capabilities here.
Yeah, and the retargeting stuff is something that's I've become really interested in. It seems like a lot of affiliates have started to pay attention to. So it's really awesome, the kind of features that you guys have been building out. And hopefully we can take a look at some of that as well. Um,
I'll certainly show some. Yeah, thank you.
mhm.
Oh, we have more reasons to love SiteScout. I didn't keep it to 3 points. I guess I lied. We've actually gone to great lengths and and efforts to try to create a great resource and education center. When you're logged into your SiteScout account, and I'll show us all where when I'm presenting, but we have a great knowledge center button right at the top of our interface. We've really dissected the entire platform and all of its capabilities, explained it all with screenshots and videos where we're able to. And it's been a great sort of resource for advertisers to kind of self-serve. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We all work 24 hours a day, so
Mhm.
when nobody's here in the office, you've still got plenty of resources at your disposal. And as well, our blog. We've got a terrific in-house marketing director, Ratco, who posts on blogs externally and internally on our own. So that's another great resource. Of course, we have a very fast ad quality review center between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're looking at a maximum of a 3-hour delay to get your campaign online. It's typically done within 1 to 2 hours. Every day, literally every day, new features are being added, new sources, new inventory. So it's forever expanding and growing. It's been a good ride.
Awesome. Hey, people have got a few questions. I was wondering, do you want to take them now or at the end?
It's up to you. I don't mind doing it now while they're fresh and relevant.
All right, yeah. Brian wanted to know about landing page restrictions. Do you have any restrictions on the kind of landing pages? And I guess he also wants to know if you accept ClickBank websites or offers.
Yeah, ClickBank offers are actually quite popular here. I'm going to assume that Brian might be in direct response. We're very affiliate and direct response friendly, Brian. We do have some limitations on the landers, not an awful lot. First and foremost, no adult content whatsoever is allowed, so no nudity, nothing adult, provocative, suggestive. So minus a couple fun things like that, we don't allow those at all. And no international dating sites. So like an Anastasia International would be a good example of that. Aside from those two main restrictions, the rest will be on a more of a case-by-case basis. So each publisher in our site, and we've got nearly 17,000 domains available, they have their own restrictions, and I'm just going to go out on a limb, and maybe he's guessing about a farticle or newslander type style page. There are restrictions against those, not as a network as a whole. Some sites will let them through, others won't. Many in the same space as you, I think, have switched to more of a lifestyle type of landing page, so it's more blog related or lifestyle related than it is an actual newslander. But the newslanders can still get through on a few places. And Brian, if you want to reach out to me afterwards, I can give you the tips and tricks on what they need to have to be compliant.
All right. We have another question about your geographic targeting features. Is it down to the city level?
It is down to the city level, yes. So all across, internationally across the globe, we can target right down to the city level, and I'll show you guys that when we're creating a quick campaign here. We also can, in the US, we can target by DMA code, area code, and zip code.
Great, great. One more question popped in. We'll take one more question, then we'll move on to the rest. So Tim wants to know, he's interested in tips and tricks to be compliant on landing pages. I guess.
I'm gonna share my email address, Tim, with us all. But for the record here, it's my first name Steve, my last initial M at SiteScout.com. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll give you the tips. We actually have a link for it. I don't have it prepared here, unfortunately, but we actually have a link as to how to make a newslander compliant.
Okay,
It's
great.
basically ditch the logos and ditch the reporter, and you're almost there. That's that's the basic.
All right, great. So let me talk a little bit about Tracking 202. I know a lot of you guys are on the webinar because of the emails that we sent and all the promotions that we did. But there are a few people who may not know about Tracking 202, so I'll quickly go through. We started off as an open source tracking software for affiliates and performers marketers. And one of the features that we have, because it's open source, is the access to lots of mods that people have created and publicly made available. And you can also create your own modifications to the software. It's been used by tens of thousands of affiliates, tracking millions of clicks and conversions every day. So there's a lot of support and users to depend on. And if you'd like to download it, it's free at www.prosper202.com. Some of the highlights for the latest version is that it's between 2 to 500 times faster than the previous version. And it allows you to quickly fine-tune your campaigns. And we'll see that in the demo. You'll be able to look at the factors that are affecting your conversions or costing you money and be able to cut that out from your SiteScout campaigns. Because of the speed that we have, we've got improved tracking, which means less discrepancies when you're looking at stats from SiteScout to Prosper than to your offer. Those numbers are going to match up a bit better. And we basically allow anyone to get up and running. So it lets you compete with the bigger advertisers using software that's just as competitive as some of the high-end packages available online. One of the ways to get a campaign working is to be able to know all the factors that that make up a conversion, and you should be able to break down the different factors that that contributed to the conversions. Things such as placements, domains, ad copy, keywords, demographic information, and more. And these are the kinds of things that you can bid on in SiteScout. So being able to see those and how they affect your campaign, and then bid to the ones that are driving more conversions, or cut out the ones that are not converting, will let you quickly optimize your campaign. Um, the way to do that is with our custom variables. So we've got C1 through C4, and we'll take a look at how those work in the live campaign demo that we do. These allow you to dynamically pass data from your ad networks into Prosper. So for example, you can pass data straight from SiteScout into Prosper202, and gives you full reporting, which you'll see in the group overview. So at this point, before we go to a live campaign, Steve, I think there's some feedback coming in from your end.
Oh, is there?
Yes. Okay, it's gone.
Gone?
Yep.
We're in a cool little loft office space here, and our neighbors upstairs unfortunately drive us all nuts all day when they walk around. That's my honest answer.
All right. Okay, great. So everyone's reporting that's much better.
Perfect.
Um, so there's a quick question about Tracking202 and issues with a platform like HostGator. Yes, using a shared server is highly discouraged, and we do not recommend you do that with sites with Tracking202. Um, uh, Basically, it slows down your redirects, and it costs you money in conversions and everything else. All right. Hey, Steve, I muted you out for now. I guess it's really loud. And then basically, once I'm done with my part of the demo, I will unmute you again. All right. So we're about to do the live campaign setup. Kind of have a treat for you today because I'm going to be showing the new interface for Tracking202. And this is something that I've been working on for some time now. It's almost ready to be live. And um, there may be a few bugs, but I thought that today would be a great time to show everyone the what's coming up. So let's go about setting up a campaign. Hope you can all see my screen. Okay, great. So this is where you set up your marketing channels. So for example, I've got a few sample ones in here: AdWords, Facebook, Plenty of Fish, and then SiteScout. This is what we'll be working with today. To add a new channel, you basically type that in here and hit add, and you get your new channel here. So let's work with SiteScout. I've created a sub account under that, and I'll show you how to get things set up. So one of the features that SiteScout has is the ability to fire a postback conversion pixel, and you can use Tracking202's piggyback pixel functionality to actually fire SiteScout's conversion pixels even though you do not control the landing page. So in this example, I've created a postback pixel, and I typed in my SiteScout conversion pixel, conversion postback URL, And then for the postback variable, I typed in the C1 variable right here. And this will be dynamically filled in by Tracking202. There's a new feature called the tag container. And this can be used to add retargeting pixels that you want to fire on every load. These pixels fire intelligently, so only when traffic comes through SiteScout it will load up. But you can load up a tag container with a bunch of other pixels that have nothing to do with SiteScout's pixels. Once the campaign has been, the channel has been set up, you can set up multiple categories right here. So you can do an auto category, and this is like auto insurance or regular insurance. So I've added that in here, and then we'll set up our campaigns. And this is where you'd plug in the links that go to your offers. So in here, I've created a sample offer. It goes to the Tracking202 website right now. And an example of setting up your affiliate link involves adding a sub ID, which will then track conversions inside of Prosper202, Tracking202 or Prosper202. So I've got this set up. It's a lead gen. All the settings are here. And then there's the ability to set up landing pages, text ads, and get landing page codes. In this webinar, we're going to skip through that and just go ahead and grab the links. This will be a direct linking campaign. So I'll just pick the settings here. We're working with SiteScout. And then one of the things that SiteScout does not actually charge on a CPC. They're a CPM based network, but you can still enter in a CPC target, and you can have SiteScout optimized to that target price. Let's generate this link, and this is the tracking link that we'll be using to plug into the SiteScout campaign. So right now I'm going to pass that link on to Steve, and he will take it from here. Hey Steve, you there?
I'm back. Sorry about the feedback, guys. I hope it gets better.
No problem. So I'm going to make you presenter. Hopefully you've got the link that I sent you.
I do indeed. I'm just going to grab that one sec.
And let me know when you're ready for me to switch to your screen.
Perfect. 2 seconds. Oh, the only thing, Anna, did you want to maybe include the C1 variable on there for postback?
Right. So the C1 is in there. Let me give you control. I completely forgot what the token is.
Oh, that's okay. I can enter it in for you after.
Okay.
It's just postback ID in all capitals.
Okay. Are you going to plug that in on your end?
Yeah, I can do that. That's okay. We can work around.
Let me know when you're ready to go.
I'm ready. Bring it on.
Center.
Okay. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes, I can see you.
Perfect. So I'm here in my main campaign tab on SiteScout, and the webinar was not intended to be a full, how to use SiteScout demo. It was more to be how to use, the Tracker 202. So I won't get into too much detail here as to what's going on here, but this is basically all the different campaigns. Hopefully, and I'm assuming that many of you are already familiar with SiteScout. So these are separate campaigns that we've had created here, along with the stats that SiteScout's able to track. But to get there, we have to create a campaign first. So by going in here to the Create a Campaign menu, I'm able to give my campaign a name, So this is our T202 demo campaign. I can spell well. And the destination click URL that we've been so kindly given here. Yeah, there it is. We don't have the C1 variable, but that's okay. Where's your C1 there, Nana?
Oh, you could just.
I'm going to put it in. It's okay. Give me 1 second here. Separated by question marks on yours, right?
Yes. Oh, put the ampersand and then C1.
Oops, CI. It's a new keyboard, guys. Bear with me. This is SiteScout's unique postback ID. When I can spell, of course. Just like that. So as Nana described, we're actually passing the C1 variable. We'll be accepting our postback ID. So now every time that a user is going to be clicking on your destination URL, we will be superimposing the actual unique value for that click here into the postback ID. And Nana, with the Tracker202, are going to be accepting and hosting that with the C1 variable. To set this end of it up for the postback, where you would actually start up here is at the Tools button. You're going to be creating offers and conversion pixels. So we've created one beforehand here, but it's as easy as hitting our Create button, giving the offer a name and a payout value. You would then hit Save, highlight the offer, click on Get Tags, and though we have a few options, it seems that postback has obviously gained in popularity, especially with mobile application. And so we've given you the URL that looks exactly like what Nana had in his example. Thank you for showing that. And we're asking now to paste in your postback info here, which, as Nana described, is C1, and I believe you use one or two of these. Like that?
It's two.
Two. That's all. Just like that, and that's the full now URL, just as Nana has it. That's ready to go. So as you guys can now fathom, C1 is postback equals C1, and on the flip side, in your actual campaign, postback C1 equals postback ID. So that's how the two function back and forth together. There has been some confusion there, so I hope that pretty much clarifies it. Whatever variable you're passing goes in front of our postback ID here, and it goes at the end of your postback ID. In this example here, it would go at the end, C1.
Right.
Just and like that.
I forgot to set up your other C variables for the other tokens.
That's okay. Have. I'm going to show them all, my friend. Not to worry.
All right. Great.
So before we continue through the new campaign, there are definitely, as Dan alluded, C1 is simply just one of them. He's actually able to pass quite a few, such as, and C2 equals, let me go and show you guys what we've got. So this is the Knowledge Center button that I had alluded to earlier. It's a great resource of information that we've been building, and it's a perpetual project, so it's not always perfectly complete, but let me tell you, 80%, 85% even of what you need should be in here, including the different tracking macros, part 12 down here, that we're able to pass back and forth. So let's go into here, because that's relevant to today's webinar. And looking at the different tracking macros that we're able to pass, here they all are. I'm able to pass back and forth the ad ID, so the actual banner ID that's generated within SiteScout every time you upload a banner. The site ID, this is the actual transparent site ID that you're buying the traffic from. The campaign ID, which would obviously be when you save a campaign, it'll generate an ID for that campaign. Network ID is the unique ID number of the exchange, such as a Rubicon, PubMatic, AdMail, Google, who you're buying it from. Postback ID we've already implemented, so I showed you how that works. If site ID is just numbers to you and you want to know the actual domain that you're running on, absolutely no problem. You can pass back and forth the domain name. Page URL is just that, full path URL of where your ad was clicked from. And then on the mobile side, we've got quite a few unique targeting aspects here. So DPID, these are for hash devices, obviously, DPID and DID. Then, of course, UID, which is most commonly used, that represents either DPID or UID, so depending on the type of iPhone or Android device and its hash platform. So that's how that works. Carrier is just that, so I can see AT&T users, and then, of course, on the Android device type, for example. So pretty robust as to what we're able to pass. It's pretty much everything pertinent to a campaign. I'm sure Nana would agree.
Hmm.
And they're able to accept at least 4 of them, which is pretty much going to get you the 4 most important ones that you would need. Commonly being ad ID, site ID. Campaign ID isn't often used, but of course, domain is used as opposed to site ID, so it's truthfully just a matter of picking which ones you guys want. In this case, I'm just going to use domain, but of course, just to highlight the fact that we can, of course, track all of them here, so I'm just going to use C2 equals domain, and we're done. It's that easy. And then, of course, we have, the ability for C3 and C4 as well. That's having this information passed back and forth is of paramount value, because it's likely that I get the question if SiteScout is robust and has all this tracking capabilities, why use something like a 202? And there's quite a few answers for that. One, 202, believe it or not, can get further granular stats than even I'm able to, such as down to country region levels. Whereas unless you set up your campaigns in sort of a one-for-one targeting fashion, it would be a little difficult for SiteScout to report that back to you. Secondly, it's likely, although I wish you were only buying from SiteScout, it's probably the reality that you're buying from multiple sources. So using something like like a 202 solution will give you one solid dashboard to log into and have a look at all your media buys as they're going on. So it's a tremendous tool to have on your side, and it's not a plug for them. Quite a few of our SiteScout advertisers, if I told you how many times I see these links coming through, and I know Ned is not exaggerating. I know there are tens of thousands of people using his service. So that's the basics of setting up the actual link. As you guys can see, how to pass the domains, and are now aware of where to get the different tracking macros that we can pass you back and forth. I'm just going to run through quickly here and show you some of the different campaign creation options that we've got here. It's basically a wizard that walks you through it. I'm not going to walk us through all of it, but if you guys noticed, Nana had a spot here for keyword targeting, so I'm definitely going to show you guys what we can pass for keyword targeting and using contextual targeting with it. But basically, we're just going to set up a campaign. So default bid, start wherever you want, turn your campaign on or off, target web and mobile, target only web, or target mobile, which will allow you to target specific mobile types. You set your frequency cap. It can be on a per campaign level, on a per site per campaign level, or even per zone per site, which means 160 by 600 above the fold versus 728 by 90 below the fold. You can buy a user 3 times on each of those individual ad spots, or on each of the individual sites, or across the entire campaign. Set your budget amount, daily or all time, of course. An optional flight date can be added. And I just wanted to highlight, as Nandas gets to show off his new interface, I want to highlight one new feature that we've recently added, audience capture. This allows you to add users to a retargeting list based on the fact that they simply clicked on your banner. So we no longer require a physical pixel to actually be placed on a landing page with which to retarget from. We can automatically add users now based simply on the fact that they clicked on your banner. So I put in, email pixel test just as an example. I can also add audiences to this list based on the people that click on your landing page. So I'm able to track landing page click-throughs as well. And I'm also able to add users to a secondary list based on the fact that they've converted. This will allow me to target all the people that have clicked on my banner in a future campaign, and then untarget all of those that have already converted, so I'm not, duplicating efforts. So that's my new feature. That was my shameless plug. Thank you for listening. The next option, just to speak to our transparency that I had alluded to earlier, is we are domain-based. So gone is the black box, solutions of some of our competitors, and I'm certainly not knocking them. Everybody operates differently. We operate transparently. So here I can actually pick and say, I actually want to appear on MediaFire. Let's add that in. Cool Math. I'm just picking random sites and Facebook placements that I've got access through. Maybe Fox News would be a great spot. So as you can see, I am able to absolutely pick transparently where I want my ads to run. Further from that, I am able to specify a specific page position that I want the banners to appear on. Maybe I'm looking for above the fold only. Maybe I'm okay going below the fold. Maybe, as I would advise, I'm going to test them all to see which ones back out to my goals most efficiently. That's option one for campaign creation, is choosing individual sites. In our case, what we're actually going to do is a run-of-network campaign, which literally means choose all of the almost 15,000 domains that I've got available, And of course, we pop up this warning. I don't know if anybody listening has had this experience, but I can promise you, SiteScout sees 10 billion impressions a day. If you create a run of network campaign and do not add any other targeting, you just say, yep, I'm going to buy all their US impressions. Yeah, we get literally over 100,000, 200,000 per minute. So you can overspend a budget pretty easily. However, if you add logical targeting, like retargeting, contextual targeting, demo targeting, this is a non-issue. So I'm going to understand and continue with Ron. Here's all the networks that we are currently integrated with. Criteo inventory is new to us and is flowing nicely. So if you haven't tested some of that stuff yet, lots of new opportunities there. And as you know, as well, there are new sites constantly added from all of our current networks as well. Creatives would be quite simple. You would just simply upload a banner. I'm going to just quickly illustrate my ad builder tool here, and I'm going to build a banner from scratch. This is my T202 banner. It's pretty ugly, eh? I'm going to save that.
Right.
Just needed a placeholder. Geo-targeting, somebody asked it, so I'm just going to highlight it quickly here. Yes, we do have down to the city regions. So what I've done here is I've just clicked on the plus button. I've expanded all of US. We call them regions, but we all know these to be the states of the United States. It's not a state everywhere, so we call it region. But perhaps you do not want to target all of US. Perhaps you only want the state of Arizona. I can add now a target to only the state of Arizona. And of course, as I promised, we certainly get down to the city level. So perhaps it's only Arizona City, Arizona. So that's how you can get right down to the city level targeting. And of course, the opposite is true as well. Maybe I want all of Arizona except for the following. So I can certainly block out the cities, or I can target all of US and block out the the states that I can't serve. And I'm not picking on any states. I'm just picking the first five. These are probably perfectly fine. Armed Forces is actually a commonly blocked one because it is difficult to ship, and some of them are in America, which is easy. But some of them are actually overseas, so that's a little bit more difficult to serve to. And as I had said before, yes, we can also target by US DMA, zip, and area code. So if I wanted to only appear, let's say, for instance, to Beverly Hills, California, yes, that is the absolute only zip code that I know off by heart, and it is because of that stupid TV show. There's a campaign now targeting Beverly Hills, California. That's how that all works. I'm just going to leave it all on US. I want the entire country. Retargeting, I'm going to skip over. That's a whole different topic. Day parting, this is just telling you when to run the ads. Operating system browser targeting, some of the granular features you've got here, target by operating system or by browser. Some auto optimization features, Nana said it, and we can deliver on it. We can back out to a CPC or a CPA goal automatically for you. So I can give it, my cost per click goal. I think Nana had 30 cents in there if my old memory serves me correctly.
Yep.
And you give it a sample size of whatever you're looking for. Our system will automatically go through the sample. It'll buy that automatically, and then it'll turn around and look at any placements right down to the actual page position level. Any page positions that don't meet your 30-cent cost per click goal automatically get offline. Our system can even send you an email when it does that decision for you. Here's what I wanted to show you with the keyword and contextual targeting. We've got a tremendous way of sort of curtailing the amount of volume that would come out of run of network campaign. Half of it would be completely irrelevant because it's going to be completely untargeted. You're going to be buying on 15,000 web pages. So a great way to sort of make it a little more finite and much more targeted is to add contextual targeting. What's contextual targeting? Well, it's actually a way to tell it what types of pages based on their content you want your banners to appear on. So maybe I was running an offer for AAA, the Auto Repair Club or Roadside Club. I can actually target to be on pages only about auto repair. New York Post is always a good example. So if New York Post, gets 10 million impressions a day, half of them might be irrelevant to my offer. However, if they write tomorrow, a big article on automotive repair and the state of the industry, I want my banners to be on that page. This will automatically read the content of that article in real time, determine what it's about. If there's a match with auto repair, that's where you're buying. So in this case, if auto repair is in fact the category that you want to target, you can then, of course, pass that back in a keyword just like you would in a regular PPV or search campaign. So that's a phenomenal way to get that back through to Nana's great system there. That's contextual. The only other highlights here that I wanted to show is, of course, it's new, And there's demographic targeting, that we now have the ability to target users, individual users, based on this list that's going to take a minute to load. And here it is. So yeah, for sure, going back to the car example, we've got people that have opted into, this is all first-party data, our data providers loaded me, but I won't get too much into detail about that. It's people that have opted in for this information via first-party publisher data. Mostly used with age and gender, of course, so I'm looking for, let's say, females 35 to 44 across my entire network, only buying on this demographic. Another great implementation of it. And that's the basics of campaign creation here in SiteScout. And then if I have a couple minutes, maybe I'll just quickly highlight some of the things that we're able to see in our stats. And then, of course, you can show how much more robust potentially we can get it when we use it in unison with your system.
Okay.
But I'm just going to go through quickly. We're going to show you the impressions that you're bidding on, how many you've won, your bid price, your win price, of course, your spend. Any additional data cost gets added. There's the data cost for a total CPM, okay, along with your effective cost, cost per thousand, as well as total spend. So there it is, just adding it all together. How many clicks you got? Click-through rates, of course, are calculated. And of course, your effective cost per clicks. The rest of my columns are zeros, but I'll just show you that we do have the ability to track landing page clicks, landing page click-through rates, and conversions. We ran an internal campaign very quickly here, and we didn't place a pixel. I don't even think we got any conversions, to be honest, but that's that's okay. We didn't place the pixel anyways. I'm a pretty honest guy. Many things I am a liar, I'm not. So that's great on a top campaign level. Drilling down into it, as you can see, here are the IDs that we're able to pass back and forth to Nana. Also the domain name that I'm able to pass back and forth into my tracker software. And then I'm able to see on an individual granular site level how each site's performance went. So as you can see, some great steps for optimizing. And if this isn't granular enough, highlighting any of your sites and clicking on the placements button will now show you your stats on the specific anchorfree.com site and how each different page position has performed. I can increase or decrease my bid based on its performance. I can also, of course, decide to completely offline different positions within that site based on its performance again. So some really granular optimization abilities. Our auto optimizer tool will go down to this level for you, of course. And of course, we've also got creative stats on a site-by-site level, because the creatives themselves are going to perform at an overall number, but on this exact specific site, they're of course going to have their own individual results, and they will, banners do react differently on different sites, and SiteScout will be so kind as to show those to you. Questions, comments? What do you think, Nana?
Oh, it looks really good. Yeah, we do have a few questions. I guess there was a question about the rates, and I guess you've kind of answered that.
Yeah, for sure. As far as the CPM rates are concerned, so the minimum deposit, just to reiterate, will be $500. Visa, MasterCard, Wire, PayPal. As far as the individual rates, we're in a real-time auction. So think eBay, basically. It's a down-bid model, very similar to eBay. I'm just going to expand this column here. I'm on a smaller monitor, sorry. But what we're able to see here is that my default bid is the max price that I'm willing to pay. I can set this to be about any amount that I want it to be, and I will always win traffic at 1 penny above the next highest bidder. So that's what this is reflective of. I was willing to pay, in this specific example, up to $3 CPM, but I was able to actually win the traffic at $1.85 overall. And if I want to see what that breaks down to on an individual site basis, I can see that I'm still willing to pay $3 CPM, and I'm winning at 1 penny above the next highest advertiser. So that's always a tough question for me to answer. What are the rates on SiteScout? CPM rates range from probably 10 cents CPM to over $10 CPM. And as you can see here, I've got a pretty wide sample of CPMs just in these small campaigns alone, so you can imagine. But that's the way that it works.
Okay, great. And then Gus wanted to know if there's a way to import IPs for retargeting.
So that's actually something that we'll be working on. It's under development. It's more of a full-fledged data management tool that we're under development with. But I won't give too many hints, but it's coming soon. For now, we're required to either place the pixel on your landing page. So if I go to my retargeting area here, I can create a new list just by giving it a name and hitting save. Highlight that list. click on the Get Tag button, and we've given you the recommended script to place on your landing page. You could use a redirect link, a little more advanced, and I'll get into that, on a one-by-one basis if anybody needs it. You're running email campaigns, email marketing, absolutely drop this little image source pixel in here. It's a bit more of a primitive code that will work very well. If you put it in the HTML body of the email, we can retarget all your opens, as long as they're opening, of course, on a web-based email provider like Gmail or something like that. iframe's been sort of put obsolete because of the different robust abilities of script tags. So that's that. And then, of course, those new features that I showed you guys that we can automatically add users. But for now, we need you to place the pixel so we can cookie match the users. Soon we'll be able to import it.
And Dave wants to know if he can still receive traffic if he's the second or third highest bidder.
Absolutely, that's a great question, Dave. I'm just going to go ahead and pretend again that we were building a new campaign just to bring us back to this part here, frequency capping. Literally, almost everybody in display uses some form or variation of it. 3x12 is just our default because it's the most common. So this wins default by popularity. You can adjust this to anything. So when you go to a web page and you land there, the first ads you see are the highest bidder per se. That highest bidder will have some type of cap. So they might only be buying you once per 24 hours, for instance, And then as you go to page 2, now you're presented with a whole new set of ads because this advertiser's cap is expired. So you can envision then that the next highest bidder wins that user's second impressions. Had the advertiser had a 3x24, you'd have to wait to see if that user generates a fourth page view. Yes, you as a second highest bidder could win it. You as a 10th highest bidder could win it on a page. On pages, sticky pages, I call them, like a news page or a YouTube, where users generate, 10 plus page views per visit. On those types of pages, you don't always have to be near the top. Some really quick insight, though, is trying to be the top bidder will often give you better performance because you are the first banners that they see, as opposed to being, the 5th or 6th or 7th or further down the chain.
Okay, great. Still more questions here. Bob wants to know about mobile, which I think you talked about. I guess he wants to know if there's mobile traffic available.
Yeah, certainly. So I'm just going to fly over to our ad planner tab. You guys got to have some questions for Nana. He's got an amazing system, too. I have some questions for you.
Oh, yeah. I kind of picked out all the questions that were for you right now.
Oh, I see. You filtered them for you. Yeah, that's good. So it's just going to show, this is our ad planner tab. It's basically a reiteration, if you remember when we built the campaign, choosing traffic sources. It's just a larger, easy to work with window, equally transparent still to show you all the dimensions and traffic, including available impressions and an average CPM that we've been able to win traffic for on average. These impressions are total daily. They are reflective of yesterday, so it's a full day's worth of impressions. We can add some custom filters such as inventory type, and I can pull out my mobile-only traffic. So yeah, it's safe to say I've got some mobile. I've probably got quite a bit per day. And then, of course, mobile app. If you're interested perhaps only in mobile apps, you can then filter it further down into the mobile app. And here's a list of almost 1,600, a little over 1,600 different apps that we have to advertise from. And then if I increase that filter to showing mobile and app, I have 13,589 placements that you can choose from with truthfully hundreds of millions of impressions by the time you get down to the list. Mobile targeting is going to be the next question. Maybe I'll just save him or her from having to ask that. I'll just quickly highlight it. So when you're creating a mobile campaign, Steve recommends that you create a mobile dedicated campaign, and if you want to run a web campaign, create a web-only campaign because that'll give you the truest sense of what's performing and where. When you have a mobile-only campaign, you are able to select mobile targeting. This list will take a second to load. GoToMeeting slows me down, but that's just an excuse. The real reason why is because this is about to load every device type known to humankind. In fact, I think this thing knows devices that I didn't even know existed. I'm sure when you guys see this in a minute, you'll agree with me. I have no idea what a Huawei is or an Ahong, but I know that in some country somewhere, these are actually popular device types. But you're able to choose the operating system you want. You're able to choose the device type that you want the traffic from, and then, of course, the carrier if you're running a carrier-specific offer. We've got you covered. Choosing a carrier, FYI, common question. If you choose a carrier, you will be automatically excluding Wi-Fi traffic because we are now using carrier IP with which to target these users from. So you've automatically excluded any Wi-Fi, which does not have the carrier IP present. And if you do select, this is a pretty robust list, to say the least. When I choose Android, luckily the system will take a second here and filter out only all logical Android devices. And if I add Apple, it will then add Apple to this list.
Cool. Still got a ton more questions, Steve. Let's see. Let me take one more, and then we'll kind of go into the rest of the webinar. And then here's a question about retargeting. It says, this from Mike. He wants to know if you can use SiteScout for just retargeting.
Absolutely, Mike. Yes, there's no additional cost to retargeting. Still think of it as an option. So you're able to, in fact, before you even make a deposit with SiteScout, you're able to create an account for free from our homepage, sitescout.com. With that free account, you're granted full access to everything that I'm looking at here, including the tools button. Go down to your retargeting list, create your list, and you can already. This guy has no money; he's got $5 left in his account, and we're still gonna cookie match and save all of these users for him. So that's absolutely, you can do that, and you can use us only for retargeting. No additional fee for retargeting. It's still an option. So if I want to retarget these 22 people, I just have to simply bid and win them. I don't know where these 22 people are going to go. Retargeting campaigns typically work best when you choose one of network for your traffic sources, and then you add the list that you wish to target. Target my webinar campaign, please. There we go.
Hey, Steve, can you paste in the, when I switch over, if you can send me the code for the retargeting, I'd like to show people.
Absolutely. You want the script?
Yes, please.
Sure. Yeah, whenever you're ready to switch over, I'm good on my end.
All right, so I'm going to switch over to my screen.
There he is.
Here I am.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
Computers are wonderful things when they work properly, eh?
They are, but I don't know. This is pretty unexpected. Let me turn my screen back on. Can you see the screen?
Perfectly.
Okay, great. So I got some code from Steve, which I will show you. This is the retargeting code that Steve has. And I'll show you, especially when you're doing a lot of, oh, I'm going to mute you. Actually, can you mute yourself, Steve? And in that way.
Yeah, I can mute myself for sure.
Excellent. So a lot of you guys are going to be doing a lot of retargeting, and one of the ways to do retargeting is to grab a bunch of retargeting pixels from all the different networks that you're working with and place them on your landing page or your conversion page if you want to have a burn pixel. So that can get very time intensive, logging into your server, modifying your landing page and stuff. So this is a new feature that I've been working on. It hasn't been pushed out live yet, but I'll show you what it does and kind of give you an idea of what you can expect. So I'll create a retargeting. If I can spell retargeting pixels. And this creates a container that then holds a ton of other pixels. So then at this point in time, I could put SiteScout SiteScout and then paste the SiteScout retargeting pixel in here and hit add. And so from this point on, if you ever need to change your SiteScout retargeting pixel, it's right here, and you don't have to log into like a new website. I mean, to your website to add your pixels. So for example, you've got maybe FBX, which is something that I've been testing, which has been working pretty well. And then put your pixel in here, and now you've got two you've got two pixels here. And what will happen is that when you grab the code for this and place that on your landing page or your conversion page, it will automatically load the FBX and SiteScout pixels right away. And if you change it here, it will be reflected on your landing pages, so you never have to touch your landing pages again. They should be coming out pretty soon. But it's one of the features that we are implementing to make retargeting uh, uh, cooking people much easier when you're running your campaigns. Um, so let's continue on with a few more steps that we didn't cover with the campaign. So once all your campaign information is set up, you're going to be most likely looking to place pixels on either your own landing pages to fire conversions or with the affiliate network that you're working with or your partner that you're working with. And this is where you grab the pixels that you'll be using. Um, on the example that we had the SiteScout postback pixel, and this is a piggyback pixel, and it's also called the Universal Smart Pixel inside of Prosper or Tracking202. So in order to actually make use of that, you need to set up a Universal Smart Pixel, choose whether it's secure or not secure. I coded it to now make it automatically default to being a secure pixel. This will work on every landing page, and it just cuts out the chance of getting an error by putting a non-secure pixel on a secure landing page. You can plug in your conversion value, and then this is a JavaScript that you can then place with your affiliate network or your partner or on your landing page. If for some reason they don't accept JavaScript, we've got the iframe alternative. I do not recommend using this, the same reasons why Steve mentioned earlier, but this can be used as a fallback for situations where you can't place a JavaScript pixel. Once this is done, when the conversion loads, it will fire SiteScout's conversion pixel as well. And then you'll be able to see conversions inside of Tracking202 and inside of SiteScout as well. And this allows you to link up your stats and be able to kind of reconcile information across the two platforms. I showed you the tag manager. The smart rotator is not available. I can't really show you much right now. But let's take a look at some of the reports that you have available. So earlier on, I asked you guys to click the link. If you look in your chat area, I'm going to paste that in again. I created a few links. I'm pasting some more. And as you click it, we'll get some stats inside of Tracking202 so we can kind of look at stuff here. So you can see the amount of clicks that you've gotten in the system right now, the leads, the conversion rate, how much you earn on a conversion, your earnings per click, your cost per click, income, cost, net, and ROI. And then it breaks it down by campaign. So this is a lead gen campaign that we were testing with. And it's it's the only one in here right now. I'm going to switch to spy view right now because you guys are probably clicking the links, and don't worry, I coded this demo to actually blank out your IP addresses so you can click the link without really disclosing your IP to everyone. But you can see in real time as people are clicking, you'll see the clicks coming through. The green means that it's a brand new person that clicked through. and you'll see it on the IP on the live system. And the red means that the person clicked again. It's a repeat clicker. And so you can filter out those clicks. You can see these flags showing basically every location that the clicks are coming from. So if I mouse over this thing right here, you'll see this is BC. This one is, oh, it's scrolling way too. Troublemakers already posting messages in my spy view. I know who you are. But anyway, yeah, these are the keywords that you bid on, and it's coming through in real time um, into the system. I'll filter to show you clicks, and it shows you only the brand new clicks that have come through on the system. Then the visitors tab, you can also see um, and have the ability to download the click data. Let me mark a few of these clicks as conversions manually to get an idea of. Mark this one. I'll just set 2 of them as conversions here. So we can go into our overview and see that we've now got 2 conversions here with the payouts. So you've got an earnings of $2. We can do a breakdown, and this shows you the hours of the day that the clicks came through with different conversion rates. And this is great for doing what you call it, day parsing. I'll show you, this is by the day that you're looking at, and the actual day parsing report will give you over the entire length of the campaign, the different hour ranges where you had the best conversions. So if we had enough conversions here, you may know that from noon to 1 p.m. your time is the best time for conversion. So you may want to bid high here or bid low if this hour of the day is losing you money. You go week parsing, which is the day of the week that conversions are coming through. So this is a brand new account. We've only got clicks for today, but you'll be able to kind of see what days work best for you. And then group overview, I'll show you in the old interface because it's not fully built out in the UI. But remember, we had the C1, C2, C3 variables that were set up in inside of SiteScout with information that was being passed through. So now we'll see the breakdown. So this is this C1 variable was the SiteScout the postback ID. So actually we won't run it on that one. We'll do C2, C3, C4. So now we have information here. So this is the domain name that creates the click. If you had set C3 and C4 variables, you'd get a breakdown of conversions by C3, then C4 as well. So we've seen that of the 2 links that I gave, sample domain has 59 clicks and sample domain 2 has 7 clicks. And so if this was a real life campaign, you'll see a ton of domain names with different conversion values. And then you can go into SiteScout and with either bid up higher on a certain domain or factor that's converting well for you, or bid lower for another one that's not working as well for you. You can analyze by keywords. If you're using a landing page or a text ad, you get reporting on the conversion rate of the text ads. And then some of the sites inside of SiteScout will actually, not all of them, according to Steve, will send in referral information, but a big chunk of them do. And so you can actually run a referral report and see which referring domains are converging for you. Actually, I can start doing all of this here. So that's about it on the tracking and conversion and um, and and optimization part of things. I think at this point I'll take some questions. We'll switch back to our slides. So at this point, we'll take questions on media buying, Site Scout, anything about Prosper, Tracking202, and stuff that we've covered. I see a ton of questions here, so I'm just going to go from the top, and Steve and I will take turns answering stuff. Okay, Mark says, how is your support for noobs, call-in, support site, etc.? Is this for SiteScout or Tracking202, Mark? I'll wait for your answer. For you, Steve, Dimitri wants to know, what is geo-targeting based on? Is it IP translation, or do you have more specific data?
Our geo targeting is based on the IP, so it's like a reverse lookup IP.
Okay,
We use a pretty robust database for it, but it works very well like that.
great. Juan wants to know if there's an option to block traffic sources.
Absolutely, yes. We have two abilities of doing that. If you know a specific traffic source that you want to solely target, we have a whitelist feature. If you have a specific site that you want to block, we have a blacklist feature. So you're able to add all sites that you no longer want into a blacklist, and then our system will untarget those sites for you. On smaller, more manageable campaigns, that's not always necessary to do. You can simply just change the status of the site to offline, and you're not going to be buying there anymore.
Great. Orville wants to know if we need a tracking code. You don't need a tracking code to run ads online. It's definitely recommended because you get much more visibility into what you're doing, and you waste much. I mean, you won't waste as much money trying to run campaigns in the dark and not knowing how you're spending your money and what's converting for you and what's not. Um,
I can even speak quickly to that one. Nana's exactly right. You absolutely don't need one, but I can tell you that probably over 90% of our affiliates are using a tracking code in their click link as their click link.
um, let's see, Gorkim. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. He's asking in the tracking link, postback ID, shouldn't it be in lowercase or should it be in all caps? Steve.
It is in fact in all caps, and if you want to email me, I think Nana shared my email address. But if you even hit our knowledge center from the top, we'll show you the proper case. But it is all in caps.
I guess Felix was mentioning that a lot of the phones that you didn't recognize are Korean phone models, which are very popular. Lots of people are asking about the webinar being available for replay. And yes, it will be available for replay. It's being recorded. May have to edit and splice things a bit to kind of make up for the downtime on my side, but it should all be there and ready for you guys. And I think, Steve, you guys will put that online on your website.
Correct. Yes, we'll have it available on our blog. Of course, you can reach out to me or your account manager and get the link yourselves if you want it. But we'll also do the same thing. And don't worry about the outage, Nana. We're only human, just trying to help out here.
Yes. Any recommendations on choosing targets for direct response campaigns? That's kind of generic, isn't it? Do you have any?
That's the million dollar question, isn't it? There's it's going to be very vertical specific. All of our account managers here are pretty knowledgeable. If they weren't before, you guys have certainly made them knowledgeable in just about every and any vertical. We're always happy to help. There's no real spoon feeding like, yeah, run this offer here, here, and here. That would be a perfect world. And but we can certainly give you some great insights to get you off on the right foot.
Great. Um, I see a question here, which actually kind of funny that it comes up. Someone wants to know, Michael wanted to know how I retargeted this webinar on Facebook. And yeah, a lot of you guys probably saw um, my ads on Facebook for this webinar. And the reason why you saw that is that you actually were retargeted with a FBX pixel, that's the Facebook exchange. And then I was able to bid on your impressions inside of Facebook. And I think I will do a follow-up blog post or something to kind of share my experience working with FBX. But this was my first real retargeting campaign for something that was useful. And it did really well. I was able to get leads. I think on average it came in around 89 cents per registration. I think I got like between 30 and 40 people that uh, signed up for the webinar as a result of the Facebook retargeting campaign. I definitely served up a lot of impressions as well, and I'm still analyzing to see how that factored into you guys coming onto this webinar. I know a lot of you guys saw the webinar ads after you registered, and some of you just kept on seeing it everywhere, and it just bugged you till you actually registered. So if you want to leave your comments on the retargeting on Facebook and whether you saw it or not, um, I'd be interested in hearing your comments on that as well. Steve says, to be honest, I had no idea such software existed. I'm amazed. My reason for the call is to promote CP offers in Google AdWords was looking for a way to post my sales back into AdWords. Yeah, for sure. You can do that very easily with Tracking202, and it has a way to fire the AdWords conversion pixel as well. So you'll be able to see your conversions inside of AdWords. And more. Want to know, does SiteScout accept weight loss vlogs? I'm guessing that he or she came on later on the call when you were talking about restrictions, Steve. Um,
Yeah, no problem. I can answer it less detail. Diet weight loss as a vertical is allowed. The flog style landing page is going to be on a case by case basis, as you saw, or hopefully you saw. We're domain based. Each of those different domains has its own set of rules. Some allow them, some don't. But I do have some tips and tricks, and I totally forgot to show the link. But we have a link on our doc page as well that'll show you what a compliant page looks like.
okay, great. So people can email you for that as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to reach out to me. One cool thing about SiteScout is somebody had asked earlier about supporting noobs. We support people that have been doing it for longer than I've been alive, and people that just started today. So by all means, bring it on. That's what we're here for.
Great. Orville wants to know if he can use Tracking202 on different sites apart from SiteScout. Yes, it works with any traffic source, and that's the benefit of using something like Tracking202 is that you can use it to track any marketing campaigns that you're running and have all your data aggregated in one spot. So you'll see your SiteScout campaign data if you're running on AdWords or any other traffic source. You'll be able to pull all that data in and see that inside of your tracking software. I believe this is Eileen just commenting on the retargeting feature and says she really loves it. I'm sure that's in regards to all the features that you guys just released, Steve.
Well, I appreciate that very much, Eileen. It was a long time, not a long time coming, though. The new features, the audience capture tools, are pretty cool. We've had retargeting for a while, and Now, as Eileen has pointed out, it is a really powerful tool in display right now. So something for sure worth taking advantage of.
Hmm. There's a question from Aaron. On SiteScout, does the default bid CPM on the campaign, the basic tab, does it override the default CPM on the campaign stats? Does that make sense to you?
That's a slightly makes sense. I think I know what he means. If you've edited your bid on a site level, on an individual site level, that now becomes what we honor over the main campaign bid. Um, you'll notice, and I'll show anyone again, another time or screen share maybe later. I don't know if we're doing that, but we show your default bid in brackets. So when you've set your default bid, and let's say you've got 10 sites and your default bid is $3, all 10 sites will show $3 in brackets. And that means if you edit your parent bid, all the bids in brackets get edited as well. If you change individually one of the 10 sites, that one site now is not going to inherit the parent bid. It's going to use its own custom bid. And that holds true if you noticed, if you happen to catch it, on the placement level. So within a site on a 300 by 250 above the fold versus below the fold, you're also able to adjust your bid. And if you've adjusted it there, then that becomes sort of where the hierarchy starts from. So placement to site to campaign.
All right. Next question, recordings. Yes, recordings will be available. Then Tom wants to know what he can see on Tracking202 but can't see on SiteScout again. I'll let you start, Steve.
Yeah, I can help you answer that. Depending on how simplistic you set up your campaign, 202 is actually going to show you an awful lot more. For instance, if you've set up a campaign targeting every browser type on SiteScout, just for simplicity and time's sake, that's fine because 202 is now, as you saw on the spy tool, 202 is going to break it down by browser type. You could create one campaign for Internet Explorer, one campaign for Firefox, one for Chrome, but as you can see, that takes time. And so, maybe using a 202 tool to that advantage is a great idea. So that's one. Secondly, he's got geo breakdown stats. So let's say in one campaign, which I don't recommend, but in one campaign you targeted Australia, Canada, and US. 202 will give you the breakdown, whereas SiteScout will treat it all as one big campaign, report stats across all of those geos. So a little more geo granularity. What else do you have?
Um, I was going to talk about the reporting. You guys do not break down clicks by individual clicks, do you?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And you do.
Yeah, and so you can actually see individual clicks, which I showed you on the spy view and in other reports. You can see every single IP address that's coming through. Um, a lot of people use that for click fraud prevention. If they're seeing clicks coming in from the same IP, um, with the red pluses or red minuses, then they can contact their ad network. And I think a few years back, there was this whole big article in TechCrunch, and it was because people were using Prosper to determine that the clicks from Facebook were not as, I guess, they weren't as of high quality as they were expecting. So definitely there are lots of granular data that you can see inside of Prosper202 that you can't see in SiteScout. And then definitely there are also data points that you get in SiteScout that you can't currently get in Tracking202 or Prosper202. And like the first thing that comes to mind is actual cost data, accurate cost data. Um, I've, I believe I've gotten multiple questions on when the new Prosper202 will be released with this new interface. I don't have a set date on Prosper, but for Tracking202, which is the hosted version, I'm shooting to get this out in the next week. I've been basically working nonstop, hardly slept last night so that I can have something to show you everyone today. So I'm pushing hard on that, and it should be done as soon as possible. And for anyone who's on the hosted platform, you'll see that update automatically. There'll be nothing new that you'll have to do. You'll get access to the new interface and all the new features that I demoed. Regarding SiteScout, does Michael wants to know if you have the ability to distribute traffic evenly throughout the day, or is it all sent out right away?
That's actually a great question. Another newer feature, I guess, that we've added is something called even delivery to the budget. The even delivery feature within SiteScout will do just what was it Michael, I believe,
Yes.
is asking. It will take your budget, let's say it's I don't know $1,000, and divide it into 24 hours of the day. There are some there's some tendencies of RTB that make this very difficult because real-time bidding is truthfully that where we're in real time. We have milliseconds to respond with ad requests, and we have billions of impressions. So spreading it out evenly throughout the day is a little bit difficult. And I just want to give you some tips on that. Whenever you ask for an even delivery, you're actually not bidding 100% of the time. Bidding 100% of the time, to me, means inventory on demand. And truthfully, scaling, and especially in direct response, that's not a bad angle to take because envision if 10 impressions land on a site and you have even delivery selected, you will not bid on 10, you might bid on 5 of them. The 5 that you bid on may be interested, may not be interested. The other 5 that you didn't bid on, those might have been your clicks and sales. So, if you want some more detail or insights on that, I would love to get into that with you because that's a great point. The feature is there, but I've got my reservations about it.
Okay. Hey, Bob has a question about mobile. Do you guys have a pay-per-call or click-to-call type campaigns?
Click-to-call campaigns have been run successfully in SiteScout. I'm going to give you guys, again, more free insight. Click-to-call is actually supported on the banner level if you've got an ad server with the technology. We don't have anything built in right now for actual click-to-call, but we do have the ability to give you ad tag access. If your account's approved for ad tags, you could run a server with that technology through it. Alternatively, though, I've actually seen a big sort of following going towards click-to-call, but off the landing page. So they click on a banner, they land on a page. On that page is the phone number. This actually reduces the amount of erroneous clicks you'll be sending through to the call center, and that often equates to more efficiency on the call center level and more dedicated, or not dedicated, more direct targeted calls as opposed to erroneous calls, especially on application. If you're advertising on apps, luckily for us, place their banners in very lucrative kind of positions that often yield clicks that were, erroneous. They were by mistake, by accident, and the same thing will happen if it's a click-to-call banner. You're getting mistaken calls. I realize that phones ask you to say yes, but we all know the average user out there. They still say yes and still call by accident.
Right. Osmus wants to know if you have a lot of international traffic.
Definitely, we are unfortunately, like most traffic sources, I suppose we are U.S. biased. That's not by our choice. That's just what's available. So the bulk of our traffic will be from U.S., but we've got great international reach, and our Ad Planner tab allows you to filter by whatever country you're interested in. So creating a free account at SiteScout.com gives you access to that, and you can kind of do your homework or research to see what we've got before you ever give us any deposits if you're not comfortable to see what we've got. But we do, yeah. UK, Australia, France, most of the major European countries, some in South America, and some in South Africa as well, and all over the world really. But those are the main.
Tim wants to know where are the best places to learn more about best practices for optimizing using SiteScout? Apart
That's a
from
great question. Apart from this webinar, yes, to be
yeah.
biased, we can toot our own horns. This will help you. And actually, about 2 weeks ago, a colleague of mine, maybe a little longer than that, I apologize if my timing's off, but a little while ago, a colleague of mine, Matt Sauls here at SiteScout, did a webinar on just that, on SiteScout campaign optimization, available at blog.sitescout.com. And actually, the Knowledge Center, which is sitescout.com/support, has tons of tips and tricks, and everybody with a free account gets a account manager. That's another great resource. Of course, their time is limited, so reading and the do-it-yourself angle is always best, but you can always reach out to him or her for further insight.
So you said that it's blog.sitescout.com?
Yes.
Okay, great. Does SiteScout support rich media expandables? And that's from Robert.
Hey, Robert. Yes, we do support rich media expandables. There is a rich HTML creative button when you're in the creative section of your new campaign. We'll just need you to vet for what technology it's from. So who's providing this technology? Is it just a Flash thing that you made yourself? And then you define which direction it expands into and the size of the ad, and we can buy on all available placements that have support for that.
Right. Let's see, here's a question. If you use all the variables on the menu, does SiteScout tell you how many potential impressions you will receive per day? And that's from Brian.
Hey Brian, it will give you a total daily. So yes, if you use all the filters and you say, "Hi, I'm looking for app traffic only in Angora," we will absolutely show you all of the app traffic in that country. Um, Whether or not we know if you're going to win it or not, unfortunately, that was what I was talking about the RTB difficulties. Being an auction, sure, if you're bidding high enough, absolutely you can win all of it. If you're going to bid, at your comfort zone per se might not be enough to win 100% of it.
Great. Jonathan wanted to know about the ad builder that you quickly showed. Do can you geo-target users in the ad itself? And I'm guessing um, he wants to know, like, if you put a token, it will refill it with the user's location in the ad on the fly.
Definitely, I did that a little quickly. I apologize, but yes, we are able to. Actually, you can upload a background image, so your existing creative asset that you've already got, upload that as a background image, and then superimpose on top of that geo tokens like country, region, and city, which would obviously show for myself. It would show Canada, Ontario, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and yes, that will superimpose using the same geo IP database that we do our geo targeting with. It'll replace the user's location. Great feature, by the way. That's a good click-through rate bump. I wasn't going to give that little tidbit away, but you pulled it out. You pulled it out of me.
Nice. Good question there, Jonathan. Hopefully everyone heard that. That's a question, just a general background question from Yvonne. And it says, I guess more on the background of SiteScout. Did you cite SiteScout with publishers first or advertisers? The whole chicken and the egg question.
The chicken or the egg question, indeed. We started with advertisers and continue to be advertiser focused. We do have a very small subset of publishers that are now direct with us, but that's not a business focus of ours. We're here for the advertisers, performance, direct response, and brand alike. So that's who built us, and that's who we continue to serve.
Right. And same question, actually same person. Does ClickBank offer pixel tracking? From what I know, they do not have pixel tracking. They do have an API postback system, which needs a little bit more integration and coding. And there's on the Prosper side, there's a mod that someone's developed that lets you automatically pull in stats from ClickBank into Prosper. Um, I'll make sure I post that either on the blog or in the follow-up email. But that's also another feature that I'm building out for the hosted version so that you can integrate your ClickBank campaigns and data quickly or easily without having to log into ClickBank all the time. Webinar available for free. Yes, there's no cost for the webinar.
Oh, you're not charging for yours? I was going to charge users for ours. Just no charge for education.
Yeah. We really hope you guys have gotten really useful information from this webinar. We've kind of been planning this for a while. We even spent hours practicing this webinar so that we'd have all the information covered. Niels wants to know about hosting companies that we recommend to run Tracking202. HostGator is a no-no. Yes, that's correct. Unless you go with their VPS solution. I haven't tested that, so I can't say for sure that it will work for you. We do have recommended web hosting companies that we have on our website, and that right now is Beyond Hosting. they've been working with us for years and they fully understand the platform and they can optimize for you. Um, on the other side, we also have a managed hosted click server solution on tracking202.com. And so if you want to host directly through our server, which is cloud hosted, um, and that's the version that you saw in the demo, if that's the one that you want, then you can definitely sign up for that as well. And you'll see that at tracking202.com and hit the pricing tab. So that actually brings up something that I almost forgot. And it seems like while you guys are still on the webinar, I did want to offer a little promo deal for anyone that's like, let's see here, anyone that's still on this call, and I guess you'll see it in the replay, and I hope I'll send it out in the email as well. These are the two pricing plans that we have. What I'm going to do is basically double the number of available clicks for anyone that's watching the webinar, especially if you're new from SiteScout and you've never tried Tracking202 and you'd like to start running campaigns with our tracking platform. We got these two plans. I'll be able to permanently double the number of clicks that you can run through the system per month um, on all signups. And if you're a current Tracking202 user, please just message me and I will double your account clicks as well. So loyalty bonus for anyone that's on there before and anyone that wants to sign up because of this webinar would do that. So basically what you would do is, I don't have any special sign up page for this. Just go through the sign up process, and once you log in, you'll see an automated welcome message. Just reply back and let me know that you were on the webinar with Steve and I, and you're from SiteScout, and I will add extra, basically double clicks to either the pro account or the advanced account that you sign up. The only difference is the number of clicks that you get. So this will go up to 200,000 clicks a month that you can run through the system before the overage, and this will go up to 1 million clicks a month. That's what I will be able to do for you guys. Replays will be available on both our blogs, and I'll try post it on our Facebook fan page as well. So as long as you're on this webinar, I think that you will know exactly where to get the replay. I believe as Drago wants to know about other good uses for the Tracking202 C1 through C4 variables. And I actually have a full blog post on that, and it talks about all the cool stuff that you can do with the Tracking202 C1 through C4 variables. It's actually very flexible once you understand all the features and functionalities that it provides. One of the cool things that I was able to do with the tracking variables was that from the newsletter promotion for the webinar, I was able to pass in, I used Tracking202 to track all the clicks, and I was able to pass in name, first name, last name, and email address into the registration form. So if I had that information from your email newsletter subscription, I was able to subscribe you to the webinar without you guys having to type in anything. So a lot of you may have noticed when you clicked on the link from an email that I sent out, you went straight to the confirmation page and you got your confirmation email. And that's because I use these C variables to pass in your information into a special script that I wrote, and then it posted it all to go to webinar in one shot. So there are lots of really cool things to do.
I hope all the lead gen guys were listening closely because that's amazing.
Yeah, you can do pre-pop and really increase the conversion rates of your campaigns using these C variables as long as you have the data. GeoToken's idea is golden. Can you share another golden tip like that? Well, it looks like I just did, and then Steve just did. Do you have another golden idea to share with everyone, Steve?
Yeah, if I could do a shameless plug, SiteScout sells a standalone ad server product. And one unique feature that it has is, well, twofold. It's got container ads, which are those 3-in-1 containers. You know, they run 3 different verticals, one size unit. And impression recycling, which has to do with once you've bought an impression on a publisher's page, you load an ad. After X seconds, you're able to refresh that ad and show a second ad, and then you can refresh that ad and show a third ad. Impression recycling is gaining popularity, and you know it's a huge click-through rate bump. But hit me up, and I can talk for literally 4 days about tips and tricks. So we can't do that here today, unfortunately. But hit me up, feel free.
Yeah, and I think we talked about some of the stuff that we'd like to get together on other webinars with, especially your ad server, because it's got some really cool features that I read about, and I think you guys will be really interested in that. And also any tips and tricks that, like more tips and tricks type webinars where we can actually go into day-to-day usage that's not like the general stuff that's covered.
Yeah, we'd be happy and honored to. It's something that we do all day with our clients, but it's always easier to do it in such a with a larger audience. I think it speaks great volumes, and I'm going to give a shameless plug for both myself and Anna. It speaks a lot of volumes for the companies you're dealing with when they take the time out of what are already busy days, and truthfully, there is some benefit to doing these. Obviously, Anna might get some new users, I'm going to get some new users, but at the end of the day, we want our products to work properly for you guys, and that's truthfully why we do that. And as unbiased as I can say it, I really think that speaks volumes about who and what you're dealing with when you're going to pick a solution. So I would love to do more of these.
Well, there's a question here about your if there's a bonus from SiteScout for being on the webinar, and
we thought as a joke maybe we could give away an iPad or something. If you sign up, you might win an iPad.
Can I be in the draw for that as well?
We consider it this. Tell me that you met me on the webinar, and I'll give you some really good tips and tricks. That's my promo.
I think that's way better than an iPad. So you can buy multiple
I think
iPads.
so too. The iPad, by the way, is false. There is no iPad giveaway. I've made a joke once before and got put my foot in my mouth.
Oh no.
Yeah. People take things like iPad mini.
Yeah. Niels wants to know about using your own ad server inside of SiteScout, and I think we talked about that privately earlier on.
Yeah, we have. It's actually something that it's not that we don't look down on it. We have to be concerned for ad quality reasons. You can ask myself or your account manager for a ad tag approval request form. So it is on a case-by-case basis. The system itself does have the functionality, and depending on the technology you're using and the need for it, we can get that access in there for you.
Cool. Kenneth wants to know, how do you know if a campaign was denied by the domain and not SiteScout?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How do you know if a campaign was denied by the domain itself and not SiteScout?
Oh, that's a great question. Normally, when we're unsure about something or we think that this should be able to run, the publishers do give us lists of what they don't want on their site, and if we don't see your particular offer on that list or we think it's gray area, we turn it online. So you'll see on your stats eligible online And if you see 0 impressions bid, it's one of two things: raise the bid to rule that out as a possibility, or that's the case where the publisher has decided to block it, unbeknownst to us. If we know right off the bat that that can't run there, you'll see your site status will show denied, and that's us. If the site status, there's a third status, so online, denied, or blocked. Blocked is when publishers block it properly. They actually update our interface saying, hey, this advertiser's, for whatever reason, not allowed to run here, and you'll see block status. So blocked comes straight from the publishers. Denied was us knowing beforehand. Eligible online, but no impressions with a high bid, that means they blocked you.
All right, just type in that.
Cornan is somehow doing a masterful job of summarizing all these answers.
I'm really happy I took my typing lessons to speed up my words per minute there.
I bought a new computer over the weekend, and I'm learning Windows 8. And, I'm a computer guy, obviously, so I thought that it would be a walk in the park. I don't understand Windows 8, this application thing, and these island keyboards are really getting to me. So I could use a typing course. I'm an island keyboard.
I think Eileen wants to know if we could tell everyone a bit about the social feature in SiteScout. I didn't know there was a social feature.
It wasn't 100%. Oh, what she might mean is that we're actually able, within the ad builder function, we're able to add a Twitter account, and you can add Twitter followers. Works great on lead gen guys, on brand awareness campaigns and stuff like that if you've got them. Works almost on anything. Performance, direct response, by the way, can be leveraged by social media. That's news to nobody here, I'm sure. We used to have, and I'm not sure if this is what she's referring to, we used to have the ability to place a Facebook like button onto the banner that would actually from a Facebook fan page. So it was actually attached, actually had a counter, and Facebook actually sent us a cease and desist letter. And believe it or not, we didn't fight Facebook. We just put our tail between our legs and removed the feature. So they thought that it wasn't anything that we did illegally. They thought that we were somehow monetizing illegally off it, which we were not. So it was just a cool feature that we had, but the Twitter one is still there for you. And other than that, we've also got some Facebook application traffic and some on-profile banner display ads, which is pretty cool too. So there's lots we can do with social, but I'm not 100% sure what she meant by the feature. I hope I got it.
Yeah. Oh, I guess she's going on. It says a social widget. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the social widget then I believe would have been that the Twitter button. Exactly, the Twitter.
All right. Can we demographic target ads on Facebook using SiteScout?
So the answer to that is yes and no, and I'll clarify, of course. Yes, we have Facebook traffic. No, it's not from Facebook.com like the FBX, the Facebook exchange. So though we are able to target users on Facebook, we're buying the apps on Facebook for the most part, such as Farmville or Cityville or something cool like that. And if a known user happens to be on Farmville and you're targeting, that demographic of user, yes, your ad can appear within that application. But as far as actual profile targeting, that is so far only available through the Facebook exchange. And we are, of course, working diligently, though not on the first list. I was a little jealous that some demand-side platforms got there before ours did. We are working away at a full integration with Facebook Exchange.
Cool. Aaron wants to know about the Offers tab, and I believe that's probably the Offers tab inside of nope, there's no Offers tab in here. I took it out. So it's not, or maybe
I've got an Offers tab, might have been on mine.
Okay. Maybe we'll get some clarification on the Offers tab. Okay, it's on SiteScout.
I'm happy to take the screen back if need be, but I'm not sure what on the Offers tab.
Let me switch you back. All right.
I'm in the Offers Conversion Pixel tab here, and to get to it, I'll just start from the beginning until we get clarification. From the Tools button, no matter what screen you're on, you go to the Tools button up here, you choose Offers Conversions, that's where it lands you. Your list will be blank if you're a new user. You would hit this Create button, You would assign the offer. This is for the actual conversion tag that we're going to get. Assign it a name and a payout, whatever the offer revenue is. You would then hit save. I won't save a new one here because we've already got one. Just click on it to highlight it, and then click on Get Tags. SiteScout has multiple tracking options now for conversions, one being your standard secure type image pixel, one being a non-secured pixel, the only difference truthfully being the S. So some pages, of course, don't put a non-secure pixel on a secure page and vice versa. And then as Nan and I had shown an example using postback URL and whatever sub-ID variable you're able to use to pass that back and forth. Might be asking for clarification on click-through codes. I had alluded to the fact that SiteScout is able to track landing page clicks. This is where that's able to be done from. So you create an offer name. This is obviously now going to go on my pre-sale page. And let's say this goes to my salepage.com. So on my pre-sale page, in front of my href on the A tag, I'm going to place SiteScout's redirect link. And that redirect link is then going to forward them along to the intended destination. So like if you have a Buy Now button, for instance, I can track how many people have clicked on the Buy Now button using that. I hope that's what he was looking for clarification on, but that's pretty much all that I've got in here anyway. So.
Okay, cool. So there's still 54 people in here and lots of questions. How are you doing on time, Steve? I can kind of hang around, but I'm not sure about your schedule.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I've made enough time for everyone, so let's try to help them all as best as possible. Might not get to all of them, but let's try.
All right. So Tom wants to know if Prosper202 will always remain free, and basic answer is yes. Anything that's currently out there right now will always remain free. I'm actually exploring releasing a paid version of Prosper, which will be similar to the hosted version. A lot of people still want to host everything themselves. The version that's hosted is a little bit more complex to set up than the free one that you've seen. So there will be probably something that we will launch with either a built-in hosting on Amazon if you're okay with that, or if you want to host it yourself. We may find some hosting partners that we train on setting everything up so that you can have an easy install. There's a question from Kenneth that says, what would cause the domain CPM to rise rapidly over a few days, for example, from $1 to $15?
Wow, from $1 to $15 is pretty. That's a huge jump. And though that might not happen overly, all of the time, I would hope not. Anyways, that's a big jump. A couple factors that could cause it would be being an auction. You're always in competition. So maybe your $3 bid allowed you to win that at $2 CPM, for a few days. But then as more and more advertisers might start buying on that, and not just from SiteScout, we're in competition with anybody and everybody trying to bid on those placements. So as more and more advertisers, jump on and start competing with you, that'll cause the CPM prices to jump. Two big factors I know that could potentially cause a jump that big. One, being a big brand jumping in. I'm sure we all know brands and their budgets, and I'm obviously not against brands, but I certainly know they operate on a whole different world and level than direct response do. So $15 CPM to them is it's nothing. $15 CPM to back out on for most offers is that's a hope and a dream. So that's one idea that I might have, is maybe a big brand has come on and just wants to literally just skin that page with everything possible. Secondly, might be if you're seeing that in our, I'm going to share my screen again here, showing screen. If you're in our Ad Planner tab and you're seeing the average CPM jump, if this is what you're paying attention to, this is looking at a 24-hour window only, so it's only showing you yesterday, basically, on what we've been able to win on average for. That means that potentially, and it's a median average, so half the traffic was sold under this and half the traffic was sold over this. But let's not forget that we might be looking at 100 advertisers bidding here. We might be looking at one advertiser bidding here. And in the case of retargeting, SiteScout runs an internal retargeting campaign, and I would tell anybody this: we bid very aggressively to win users on our list. So if I win one impression on a site for $14, I didn't actually pay $14 CPM. I paid $14 divided by 1,000, but the average CPM reflects as 14. So sometimes I always advise people to take these numbers as a grain of, with a grain of salt, especially when you see the zeros. That simply means literally that there's been no, either A, no site scout activity, or at least obviously no site scout activity yesterday, or our system somehow didn't calculate an average, but it's more than likely no activity.
Okay, cool. Says if my impression bids, okay, Erin's questions, if her impression bids and won have decreased significantly, does that mean that she needs to keep bidding up?
That's exactly right. Yes, it could be one of two things, to be honest, Aaron. It very well sounds like it's a bid price issue. So what I'm thinking you're going to be seeing is, here's how our system breaks it out for you, by the way. So just so everybody understands what she means, she's seeing that the impressions bid has dropped as well as what she's winning. So as you guys can see in this case, I was trying to win 320,000 impressions, but was only able to actually win 234. This is what you've won and paid for. That's based on my $3 bid. So increasing that bid will both A, allow you to bid on more and win more. But what might have also happened, Aaron, is that there might now be a direct deal. So this is RTB, available inventory, that we're able to bid and buy. If a direct deal came in and decreased the impressions available to RTB, then naturally the impressions you can bid on have decreased. And it might not just be there anymore, but the surefire way to test it is just go crazy. We're on a real-time system, so even if you wanted to bid, did I put $10 or $0 there? I wanted to put 10. Well, now I'm 110. That's really aggressive here. That'll tell us for sure. You can of course increase your bid to something aggressive. Was all I wanted to show there. And with that aggressive bid, you will still only ever win at a penny above the next highest bidder. It is real-time stats, so you're on about a 20 to 30-second delay only. So hitting this go button will refresh the list and apply what you're now winning at the new rate on, and you might find that your win CPM has also jumped.
Question from someone whose name I can't pronounce, so I won't attempt it. But it's a question about SiteScout and how it compares to a company like AdRoll.
Yeah, that's a fair question for sure. Something that I can't get into all of the advantages or disadvantages on. An important thing is that I never knock any competitor ever at all. I have utmost respect for literally all of them, actually. They all do something differently. SiteScout's transparency may very well give you the benefits that you're looking for. So on retargeting especially, just because I'm retargeting to a list of users that have already seen my landing page doesn't mean I don't want the insights of what sites I'm able to find them on. This is invaluable information because it's showing me where my users typically surf. So transparency, advantage number one. I can't quote on their, if they have any barrier to entry regarding minimum deposit. Ours is on the low side at 500. And thirdly, I know for a fact that my support is probably one of the best that I've ever experienced. I try to instill this very deeply in all of our account managers. You know, whether you spend $1 or you spend $100,000, SiteScout's here to take care of you. So support certainly goes a long way.
One of the things I did set up an AdRoll account to play around with their FBX features, and I know that they don't have any minimums for their campaigns, but one of the things that I have heard, and I haven't experienced it because I haven't actually run affiliate campaigns in AdRoll, is that they do not really want affiliates on their system. And I think actually I talked to someone from AdRoll at a local meetup here, and because of their business model, they'd rather have direct advertisers on their platform.
So there you go. I wasn't even aware of that. Thanks for pointing that out. We're extremely affiliate-friendly advertisers as well, obviously, but we were built by affiliates for affiliates, so let's keep that in mind as well. That's a good one. Thanks.
These questions don't seem to stop. Does SiteScout have traffic from Italy? Most likely, yes. Is that true?
Do we have what, sorry?
Traffic from Italy?
We do. I'm just going to highlight just so we don't get those questions.
Yeah.
Again, the account is free to create. You'll be granted full access to our entire system. Here from the Ad Planner tab, this is a list of all of our available inventory, and we're able to add custom filters, and I can look at literally all the countries in the world. He said Italy. I'm from Italy. I hope I have a few impressions from there. So this is now going to be highlighting how many impressions I've got from Italy. So again, we're now in an outer, European country. I have a few high volume places, some low volume places. Oh, I'm looking at mobile only, so this is actually going to get a little bit larger. I was going to say I have more than that, and I do indeed. So here's now a list of all Italian traffic. And an alternative way to do it, maybe you're not interested in traffic from all over Italy. What you're able to do is filter all countries, and maybe it's a specific, YouTube's a great example, maybe it's a specific site you're interested in to see where do we get traffic from. And I can sort and see that I've got traffic coming to YouTube from literally everywhere almost in the world, including some countries that I've never heard of, couldn't pronounce, and others that I know very well. So, traffic from everywhere.
Great. And then there was a question about SiteScout accepting rebuilds. If I'm correct, that it's on a site-by-site basis, right?
That's exactly right, yes. I realized that my screen might have been paused when I was showing the filter. I can show it again quick. It doesn't here if you guys can see it. Custom filters from our Ad Planner tab, and then choose your country anywhere in the world. Let's go for Belgium. It's closer, and you'll now see a list of all the available impressions.
Cool. Phoenix wants to know what you recommend for iOS traffic. I'm guessing the settings for getting iOS traffic. Is that correct, Phoenix?
I'm going to assume so as well. I think I know and love Phoenix. Phoenix, when you're creating a new campaign, a couple things. One is try to get a little bit aggressive on the bids. All clients have budgets, I realize, but let's try to fight for everything that's possibly there. If you want to see how much unique traffic I have, we're going to decrease frequency cap to something like this, 1 per 24. This will mitigate the cost because I might have an awful lot of it. Traffic sources, you could absolutely choose out individual sites, but you asked how to get all of it. So let's hit run of network. I understand, continue with run. I will buy on every page position. It is important, Phoenix, to load in because now we're talking, did he say iPad? iPad or iPhone? No, I've already
Just
forgotten.
general iOS. So probably.
General iOS. So general iOS includes iPad, and that'll make it pretty important to make sure that you include standard IEB size banners because they will run 728 by 90s and 300 by 250s properly on an iPad, on web or mobile optimized, either or. When you get into in-app traffic, you're going to want to ensure that you've got the 320 by 50 banner size at the very least. And there's a couple others that I can share with you after. But that's for sure going to make part of the difference is going to be what banner sizes you are using, and I'm just highlighting here the supported dimensions. So make sure you've got the mobile sizes taken care of, but also for the iPad side, make sure you've got the IEB, the web-based standard sizes, 300 by 250 and 728 by 90 of note. Then once we've got that, so I'm run of network, I'm going to go down on my operating system browser targeting. I could exclude the Windows devices if I wanted to. I forgot to do one thing here, target mobile, go back to mobile. The fewer filters you put on after the fact, the more traffic you're going to be exposed to. So when you said iOS traffic, I'm going to give you iOS traffic here by in a second once this large list of devices loads. I'm going to limit that down to Apple-only devices, or at least devices using iOS operating system. And here we are. So if I select now iOS, which I've just done, give it another second, it's going to be filtering it out. You'll be able to choose any devices, but if you start now, selecting iOS, Apple iPad on 4G only, obviously the more filters you put on, the less I'm going to be able to have. So
I got some feedback from Phoenix on the question. I guess you answered the complete wrong question. It was directed at me.
Aha.
So he wants
what do you got, Nana?
On Prosper202, what tracking to use for third party? Does iframe work since JavaScript doesn't? Then he LOL said good info but wrong question. All right, cool.
Sorry, Phoenix.
We'll switch over to I guess I'll switch over to my screen. All right, so for the pixel stuff, highly recommend using the if you're doing piggyback pixels, I would recommend using the postback on the back end to kind of reduce the reliance on using any other images or scripts. The if the only thing that supports piggyback pixels is Universal Smart Pixel, and the only real way to implement that is with JavaScript on iframe. So definitely there may be issues with iOS devices from that. Um, for situations like these, I always recommend placing both types of pixels on the page. Um, I Prosper and Tracking202 does not overcount for repeated firings of these pixels. So definitely go ahead and place both. And in that way, if there's a browser or client that does not support one form of pixel but supports the other, you're covered that way. Just with the nature of tracking, um, not all pixels will get loaded, but in general, that number is not big enough to skew your data. Hopefully, one day there'll be a way to interact with iOS devices better to securely fire conversion pixels that will actually fire.
Yeah, keeping persistent cookies on multiple mobile devices, but iOS for sure in specific has been a problem plaguing many advertisers. Phoenix, you're not alone. Postback URL would be what I would add to that for sure. I would
Mm-hmm.
probably lean towards it if it's impossible. Then hit the nail on the head. I'm happy to hear and somewhat surprised that they won't double count, but I guess you can put both script and iframe and then just let whichever one will work.
Looks like we're winding up on these questions here. We're almost done. Um, there's a question about mobile from Robin. It says, will we be releasing Prosper 202 for mobile carrier detection, device manufacturer, model, etc.? Yes, that's something that's in the roadmap for Tracking202, at least the hosted version. And further on down the line, the self-hosted version will probably have that feature as well. Um, as of now, it does pretty good with picking up mobile traffic. It doesn't identify all the devices, but yeah, I guess no one's really clicking from a webinar on a mobile device. But usually you'll see the icon that indicates that it's a mobile device, and you'll be able to see the exact mobile device that that people clicked on with. Okay, what's the typical difference in CPM rates between RTB platforms and standard media buying, where you can buy fixed base on a specific site for a specific period? Any other advantages of one over the other?
That's actually a great question. Probably the biggest advantage to RTB buying is the fact that you can allocate budgets to several domains without having to, lose the capital. A lot of direct deals, if you buy direct from a site, you're looking at minimums of between 5 to 10,000. So that's for sure one of them. The second one is that now you're actually in control of your own bid price. So whatever your comfort zone is, you're able to bid and win on the traffic. And literally on any given site, the range that you can win the traffic on is quite huge. It's truthfully from like usually between 10 to 20 cents on a safe average low side up to probably a safe average high side is between $6 and $7, and truthfully everything in between. So it gives you that kind of granularity and control. You're also dealing with real-time stats, so you're able to make executive decisions on the fly, offline, online, the site or the different page positions. And one thing that you get an advantage, to shoot myself in the foot or to give a fair answer, the advantage to the other side is guaranteed inventory and no competition. So if you do sign an IO and you do guarantee yourself some inventory from them, you're not going to deal with the fluctuating CPM. You're also not going to deal with competition coming in and taking your volume. But you've got those other requirements. Now you've got capital requirements, you've got time delays on making ad changes, can't offline it, you've got a 24, maybe you're a good negotiator, you've got a 48-hour out clause, but then you're locked. RTB, you're never locked, you've always got the RTB button, or the offline button.
So basically, needing bigger budgets uh, lock in, and it's a bit slow. There's a question about integrating Prosper202 into a custom software solution, building a mind map project management solution. Would like to have a solid tracking. Think about Prosper202. Um, you could definitely integrate Prosper202 into any custom projects that you have. The only real restriction is that if you're planning to sell that solution, basically get permission from me and we'll work out something. But if this is something that you're using internally to run your own campaigns, um, you're free to modify it as you see necessary. And there are quite a few people who are doing some pretty cool stuff off the Prosper code for their own private usage. Good tutorials. Where can you get good tutorials on Prosper202? Um, we've got, you can see my screen still. We've got the Tracking202 videos page. And then the um, Tracking202 YouTube page. So that's, I'm going to type both of those into the chat. The video pages gives you a full walkthrough of setting up a campaign. At the very bottom of the page, these are interviews that I've done with different people in the industry that I feel affiliates would be interested in. And usually I do this at the big shows. Um, I think you guys have inventory from Tapit in your network, don't you?
Yeah, we do. That face looks familiar, Giancarlo.
Yeah,
Yes, we have their mobile inventory.
yeah, they're really cool people, good friends of ours.
They really are.
Yeah,
He's an animated guy. That's how I'll say it.
yeah,
Always worth a good laugh or two. Great insight too. Okay.
yeah. Actually, one of the founders, co-founder over there is we used to be a Prosper202, Tracking202 employee, so we're really
Oh,
good
gotcha.
friends with them.
Nice.
He has a YouTube channel, got lots of videos um, in here, and like whenever I think of something that I think people will be interested in, I pop it up on YouTube, and usually I link to it on um, the Facebook wall as well. So the webinar, once it's online and coded, it will be on YouTube as well. Um, this is a webinar that we did earlier with buy ads. I think I think you guys have something with them too. I'm not sure, um, but we did this with buy ads a while ago, and that was a really interesting webinar as well. Buy ads is more of a direct, guaranteed inventory type network.
Yeah, maybe watch out for something soon with us, and then we'll see.
I hope I didn't say too much.
Not at all. Not at all. No secrets in this business, especially not on webinars.
Yeah. Phoenix wants to know about API setup for Prosper202 and SiteScout to talk to each other. Something that we've been talking about. Haven't really moved too far on that. So it's on the radar, but I wouldn't expect that to be coming out in the near future. But it's something that I definitely want to do.
Yeah, I would love to get you guys hooked into it because we have the Stats API, and I know that you're working pretty hard on an ability for it. So that'll be pretty powerful. Automation at its best. It's got to be the Phoenix that I'm thinking about. Only he would think of automation.
Yes. One of the more advanced people on the call, I would guess. Um,
Perhaps, and certainly he's certainly advanced. I don't know who else is out there, but he certainly qualifies.
yeah, we've done some pretty cool integrations and been pushed to release cool stuff because of talking with Phoenix and his clients. Does SiteScout have a referral code once we sign up? I'm not sure if it's like referral code to get bonuses, which would be no, or referral codes to I guess refer people
Send us new
for
users.
commissions.
It's something internally that we've been debating offering up to this point. We have not, of course, given the fact that accounts are free to create, it becomes difficult. I can't pay a commission on that would be an affiliate's dream come true. So for the moment, unfortunately, we will mail you a big envelope of respect. But that's that's all that we can offer uh, at this point, at least.
Okay, looks like we're pretty much done. There's some comments on people who registered because of the Facebook ads that were all over the place. Someone who wants to see a
Yeah, you did
result.
really well with that, actually. I was impressed.
Yeah, I wanted to test out all these features to get as many people signed up as possible. So I figured we'd be sharing lots of really cool information.
No, no, that was definitely cool, and especially when we're all in the space, and then when something makes your eyebrows raise when you're already in the space, that was cool, man. I like that.
Thanks. Um, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Most of these questions we've answered. Um, yeah, it looks like we're finally done, Steve. Good
Hey, our hard
job.
work pays off. The
Yeah,
light at the end of the tunnel.
we're finally here.
Well, Nana, from all of us at SiteScout, thank you very much for helping us put this on, for putting this on. Really, I really appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for having your guests in. It says a lot about you as a guy, as a person, and your company when you do stuff like this. So, hats off to you, and thanks for having SiteScout as a part of it.
Well, wanted to thank you guys for reaching out. I know I was trying to reach out, but I didn't know who to reach out to. So you guys proactively reaching out to me to get this set up was really awesome. I've gotten to know you and the rest of the people much better. And I'd really say if you want to work with a good company, SiteScout is it. Give them a try. Like Steve said, it's free to get started with their account. The minimum's only $500. Um, really play around with their retargeting stuff because if you guys saw my retargeting on Facebook, you notice that if it's done properly, it really catches your eye and it works. So definitely play around with their retargeting features. One of the things that I really like about the retargeting is the one that retargets on click through. And for affiliates, this is really powerful because if you're doing a direct linking campaign, you can still set your retargeting pixels without having to own the landing page. And that's something that like opens up a lot of doors for you. Um, so got lots of people on the webinar, so I guess it was cool content enough that lots of people stuck through.
Hopefully not all sleeping. We'll see.
Yeah, so yeah,
Questions still coming through.
yeah. Well, lots of people thinking yes. Oh look, you've got a new client already. Someone signing up for SiteScout because of the webinar. Or someone
Hey,
fell
there you go.
asleep.
I called it. Wake up, Phoenix.
uh,
The no, and thank you to all the users that came up for this. This it's for you that we do these things for. So thanks for having an ear for us to fill.
cool, cool. Lots of thank yous coming through. Really appreciate you guys coming to the webinar, all your questions. Hopefully, we got all of these covered. And um, Phoenix says he wasn't him sleeping. It was should I out to the sleeper?
I should no, don't ask the sleeper. I should know Phoenix better than that. Sleep is too inefficient for him to take a part of. That's,
I don't think he knows what that is.
he really doesn't.
Um, cool. Well, I guess we'll wrap up now, and then the recording. I'll send that to Steve, the two pieces. Either that, or I'll piece them together and send it over to Steve, so you guys don't have to do too much work except to upload that. Um, and we'll try to get that up in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, we'll do the same on our end. Try to get it up as quickly as possible. And then if you need help with it, we've got some guys here that can help out as well. I know you've got a whole new interface that you're working on here, so maybe we can help you with the video side.
Actually, that'd be really cool because um, I'd like to I'd like to get some sleep. I was up all night just ready to. Phoenix said that we forgot to mention that you can actually make money on SiteScout. That's like the one
Yes, you
thing
can
that we.
actually make money on SiteScout. Believe it or not, we survived 3 years somehow. It's possible. Phoenix will be the first to tell you not every media campaign survives, but with the proper tools at your hands, such as a robust platform like SiteScout and fantastic tracking behind that, like Tracker202 or Prosper202, you've made a couple steps in the right direction at the very least. So thank you, Phoenix. Yes, you can make money.
All right. Thanks, everyone. If there are any questions that I didn't catch here, I'll try and answer that in the follow-up blog post or an email. Had a really long webinar here. I think it's been 2 hours. Way.
Yeah, I'm going to bed too, man.
But appreciate everyone hanging on throughout all of this information.
Yes,
Any
likewise. Feel free to reach out.
last words?
Just definitely to create the free account if you don't already have one. You're automatically going to be welcomed by an account manager, if not by myself personally. And yeah, reach out if you already know us. Reach out with your questions, and if you haven't already, give Prosper or Tracker 202 a shot because it's quite the tool to have on your side. If you're already buying off of one of the best media networks, then you might as well go to look at one of the better tracking networks out there. So
Yeah. So here's where to get the free version, prosper.tracking202.com. And if you want to pay for powerful hosting and full support, then you get that on tracking202.com. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day and go make some money.
yeah, let's go make some money. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
All right. Bye.